Hi, this is Dr. Bricker here with a short intro video for Astronomy 263. If you're watching this video, you have gone to Blackboard and you got into the Blackboard portion of this class. Over here on the left, and this should look really similar to what you're seeing. You might have some announcements by this time though. Announcement tab here, start here syllabus, that's where the syllabus is located. Learning materials, that's for things like lab activities, lecture videos, um, practice tests, things of that nature are located there. I'll click on that in just a few moments. My grades, that's where all your grades will be located for homeworks and exams, things like that, lab activities. Mastering homework is where the homework is located, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. First of all, let's start with the syllabus. Okay, so this is Astronomy 263. Descriptive Astronomy, that's the solar system, fall 2019. And this is a hybrid class, which means the lecture part, the traditional lecture part, is online. It's not real-time online. It's a series of lecture videos that you can watch whenever you want to. They're on the Blackboard site. And it's hybrid because we do meet in person for the lab portion of the class. So if you registered for the Westville section, lab is on Monday. If you're registered for the Hammond section, it's on Tuesday. So I am the lab instructor, Dr. Bricker. My phone number here is 785-5452, but I really encourage you to use my email address if you need to get in touch with me. So office hours are Monday, Wednesday, 11:30 to 12:30 in Westville, or any other time by appointment. I am primarily on the Westville campus. So again, for lab, Westville Monday 9:30 to 11:20 and Schwartz 220. Actually, the first week we will meet in 212. I'll put a little note up on 220. And in Hammond, it's from 3:30 to 5:20 and Gate 136. And in the Westville section, I'm actually your lab instructor. And in Hammond, it's Dr. Adam Rengstorff. And you can see our email, both of our email addresses here. Dr. Rengstorff's office hours will be available shortly. Communication, the best way again to get in touch with myself is through email, and I usually get back to you the same day. It says 48 hours on weekends, but probably it's going to be sooner than that. General philosophy, you could read through this, but basically people have been studying the sky since ancient times, looking up and seeing the stars, making stories out of the stars, wondering, how far are these stars from us? I mean, people thought they were all within the solar system, but now we know that that's not true. So in this class, you'll begin to discover just how far astronomy has come just in the last few decades. The textbook is The Essential Cosmic Perspective, 8th edition by Bennett. So if you can find a hard copy of that, that's fine with me. What I recommend doing, though, is purchasing the e-text with the homework. So it's Essential Cosmic Perspective with Modified Mastering Astronomy, and that's where the homework comes into play. So you can get the e-text with Modified Mastering. And if you buy it through the Mastering Homework link, which I'll show you that in just a few minutes, it's a lot less expensive than trying to buy it through the bookstore or anything like that. Okay, so hopefully the first week of class everybody can get registered for that. And again, I'll give you a little bit more information about that in just a few minutes. So the homework assignments are done online through Modified Mastering Astronomy. I might have said Mastering Physics. I usually teach physics, but it's Mastering Astronomy. Okay, and the very last page of the syllabus has some instructions about doing that, and we'll go over that in just a few minutes. So lab activities are done in class as group work. So we do have one the first week, and the exams are actually, we will do, if it's exam week, we'll do that during lab time. Okay, and we will have an observing project. There's several different observing projects to choose from. More information about that will be coming shortly as well. Okay, attendance policy, you should be present at every class since we cover a lot of material. And really the lab, in addition to doing the lab activity, you could ask questions about homework, things like that. I mean, it's a hybrid class, so you might feel somewhat disconnected sometimes because you don't see me doing the lecture, you watch the videos, but in lab that's a good time to ask questions that you might have, or you can send me an email. Okay, here's how the final grades are broken down. Homework 20%, observing project 5%, lab activities 25%. So 50% of your grade here between homework, observing, lab activities, you should be able to get almost all of those points if you put a good effort in. So you can control 50% of your grade right away. And then we have tests, 30%, so there's 3 tests during the semester, and then the final exam over all of the material. Okay, great. So homework, we'll go over a little bit more detail in just a few minutes. Observing project, more information is coming. Lab activities, so those are the activities that we do each week in group work. And then again, these 3 tests and the final exam. And I have a schedule also attached to this syllabus. Here's the grading scheme. I do use plus-minus grades. This is as rigorous as the scale will be. Now, if a whole bunch of people have 89%, I might make 89% an A-. So this is sort of a guideline, but it could be slightly easier than that. Okay, homework and the observing project are due online and will not be accepted late. The way that homework works, though, if it's 1 day late, you are docked 10%. If it's 2 days late, you're docked another 10%. 3 days late, another 10%. 4 days late, another 10. 5 days late, another 10. After 5 days, if it's 6 days late, it still stays at 50%, so it's never less than 50%. So if you forget to do a couple of homework problems, you go back in a week, you can still get 50% all through the semester. So 100% on time, all the way down to 50% after 5 days, and then it stays at 50%. Okay? Makeup tests are permitted in rare occasions. If you know you're going to miss a test, or you wake up and you're sick, your car breaks down, let me know right away. Don't contact me a week later and say, oh, by the way, I missed the test, I need to make it up. That's not going to happen. But if you let me know at the time or before, maybe you're getting married or something and you're not going to be there, let me know. That's happened in the past. Okay, good. So, work with me. Consider this your job. You wouldn't not show up for your job for a week and then show up. So do the same thing. Think of it like that with this class. Calculator policy. Calculators are necessary, so bring one to every class. It doesn't have to be a really complicated one. A simple scientific calculator is fine. Okay, we will be going over the tentative schedule in just a minute. So almost all the information that you get from the class is on Blackboard, so you're going to have to be able to access Blackboard. Okay, all the lab activities are on Blackboard. It's a lot easier if you print them out and bring them to class than everybody try to print them out during class. Now, if you forget to, it's okay. Just don't make a habit of trying to print them out every time you come to class. So here's the student learning outcomes. These are sort of goals for the class. You can read through these. Most of the class is focused on the solar system. So we'll go through the sun, the planets, the different satellites associated with planets, things like that. A little bit with telescopes. What is science versus what is not science, things like that. So you can take a look through that. It is a course with a lab component, so we do some hands-on activities. Here's the schedule. So week 1, watch lectures and read. So read the first couple sections of the first chapter, and then there's a mastering introduction that you can do. And I'll show you how to get into that in just a moment. So a little bit of orientation, and we do lab activity 1 the first week. So print that out, and I'll show you again where to get that and bring it with you. And then week 2, we'll go into chapter 2, do lab activity 2, homework 1 will be due. The third week is actually Labor Day week, which is on Monday, but there's also, class in Hammond on Tuesday, so we stay in sync. There's no meeting during the third week in Westville or in Hammond. Okay, so relax, check out the night sky. And then so on. So just follow through here. Week 4, we continue with chapter 2, moon, planet observations, history of astronomy, planetary motion, lab activity 3, homework 2, the nature of science, and then week 6. Here's what you should do, study, because week 6 is when the test is going to happen, and there will be a practice test up there. So we don't do a lab here, we take the test. And more information about that will be forthcoming as well. There'll be a practice test, things like that, so you know what to expect. And it just continues on then, so you can read through the schedule. I don't want to go over all of it right now, but just so you have an idea: Earth, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, the Jovian planets, extrasolar planets, life in the universe, so on. Okay, so how do you actually access the homework? Let me show you that. Before we do that, there's some additional policies that you can read through here. I don't want to read through them all, but web availability, Blackboard access, course evaluation, so take a look through all that stuff. There's some student mental health and well-being information here that you can check out. There's a counseling center in Gite 05 in Hammond, or Tech 157 in Westville. So those resources are there for you. Here's some phone numbers for you also. So, you know, if you just so you know that they're there for you. Okay, very good. So to access the homework, that's the very last page of the syllabus. And you need two things. You need a email address, which I know you have, and an access code or a credit card or a PayPal account. Or if you don't have any funds right now, you can actually get access to the homework for 2 weeks on a trial basis. So there's no reason to wait to get into this. Do it right away. The least expensive way is to do it right through the link on Blackboard, and it'll save you some money. If you bought the code in the bookstore or something like that, hopefully you haven't opened it yet. You can take it back if you haven't, and I would recommend buying it directly through the way I'm about to tell you. Okay, so once you have that, you have to go into Blackboard. You don't go to Mastering Astronomy or anything like that. You go to Blackboard, and there's going to be a link there. Let me show you it. So here's the Mastering Homework link. You click on this. Now you don't have to enter the code for the class or anything like that. Because you're going through Blackboard, Mastering already knows what course you're in. And then you have to register. You enter your Pearson information, which if you've had anything like Math Excel, Mastering Chemistry, anything like that, you have a Pearson account. If not, all it takes is an email address to set one up. And then choose the option that you want. Now, if you don't have the funds right now, you can do it for 2 weeks on a trial basis. But what you probably should do is get the e-text with the homework. I believe you can just get the homework by itself, a standalone homework, but that doesn't include the e-text. But maybe you have a copy of the book from somebody else, and all you need is the homework. That would be fine as well. Now, if none of this makes sense, you know, send me an email questions, or just ask me about it on Monday. Okay, so I'm going to click this link. I've already registered for it, so mine's not going to look the same as yours. So again, yours won't look like this because I've already registered, plus I've got access to more information than you have. But this is where the e-text is located, and this is where the homework is located. So I'm just going to choose Mastering Course Home. And again, you'll have to register before you're able to access any of this. But once you do, it looks like this. Okay, so again, I'm the instructor for the class, so yours won't look exactly the same as this. You won't have access to all of this stuff. But over here is the e-text. You can take a look at that. I usually like to look at the calendar view for the assignment, so let me click calendar view here. And you won't have this part over here on the left, but you will have a calendar, and there is an introduction here. So go through the introduction. It's an introduction about how Mastering Astronomy actually works. It's 5 questions. You can get 5 bonus points right away. Okay, so again, it's just about how Mastering Astronomy works. And then the first actual homework is due Wednesday, 8/28, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. So it's actually 10:59 our time. Okay, so typically the homework will be due on Wednesdays. That way it'll be due after we meet for lab. So if you have any questions, we can hopefully cover those. Now the way this works is problems where you have to actually put in numbers. You have an unlimited amount of chances to answer those. Multiple choice ones, say there's 3 choices. You miss it the first time. Now the most you can get is 67%, that sort of thing. But on the ones where you actually have to enter answers, you have an unlimited amount of times to do that. And then there's ones where you actually have to write a little narrative, things like that. So that'll become more apparent when you actually go through it. Okay, so you've got the e-text. This is where it's located, right in Mastering Astronomy. And it's a good book. There's a table of contents. We'll take a look. Okay, so this is what the e-text looks like. And sort of standard here. Here's the contents. Here's the different parts. Part 1, modern view of the universe, discovering the universe by yourself, things like that. Jovian planets, Earth, organized by chapter. So if you click on here, you can go to the sections that you need and take a look at it. So we start in chapter 1, so you can go through here. I haven't figured out an easy way to print this. You can try to print it page by page, but that's about as good as you can do with that. So if you go to the next section, you can scroll down. Take a look at it. And it's a pretty decent book. It's the 8th edition, so hopefully by now they've got all the kinks out of it. Okay, so that's where that's located. So from the mastering link, that's where you get the e-text. That's also where you get the homework. There's a few other things there. Let me show you. Okay, there's something called the study area over here. And again, you don't have all of this stuff. You just have some of it. But the study area you might find interesting. So access the study area. And you can do this by chapter. It looks like you get the e-text here, actually. There's self-guided tutorials, things like that you can go through. Author videos, math review. So there's a lot of extra stuff here. I mean, I know you're all busy, so you won't be able to probably go through all of this stuff, but there's some pretty neat stuff, actually. Chapter summaries, things like that. Okay, so I clicked on the study by chapter, first chapter. And you can, there's the e-text, pre-lecture overview, self-guided scale of the universe tour, things like that. Actually, during the first activity, you'll see some of this. Okay, so that stuff is there as well. So you have the e-text through mastering, you have the homework through mastering, and you have the study area through mastering. So there's a lot more available to you than just the book and the homework. Okay, so let me go back to the Blackboard class then. Okay, again, so that was all done through the mastering link here. The syllabus is located here again. So learning materials, this is where you get like the lecture videos, things like that. So let me actually click here. This describes the observing project. So first week is an overview of the universe. And you can go through and take a look at all this stuff. So, for example, lecture videos and lecture PDFs. So basically this is PowerPoint that's narrated. So here's a lab activity for that week. Here's some lecture slides. I call them videos, they're slides. They're basically PowerPoints that are being narrated. So lecture 1A, this is where you can start. If you'd rather just have the PDF of it, this PDF is a PDF of this here. So let me actually click on it. You can do watch media. And hit play. Just so you know where all this stuff is located. Okay, so that's where it's all located. You don't have to turn up the volume a little bit on yours probably. Okay, so I'm just closing that out. I just wanted to show you where this stuff was located. Back to learning materials. And this is broken down by week. So week 1, week 2, you know exactly what you need to do. I've got it all the way loaded up to week 3. So more stuff will be coming. Week 2 will have week 2 videos. It'll have the lab activity, things like that. So make sure that you go through the content, which is located here, and then do the homework, which is located over here on the Mastering Homework link. Okay? Now again, the very last page of the syllabus gives some more instructions about how to register. But again, the way you'd have to do it, don't go to masteringastronomy.com. Go to Blackboard, hit the Mastering Homework link, and then that's the way you go through and register. And again, I recommend just paying for it through there, either with a credit card or PayPal. And again, if you don't have the funds right now, you can get temporary access for 14 days. So there's no reason to wait at all. Get off to a good start, do the bonus homework, start going through the other homeworks when you get it, as you go through the chapter, then do the corresponding homework. Okay? very good. If you have any problems with this, I mean, don't stress out about getting into this. It usually works pretty well, actually. But don't spend like 5 hours trying to get into mastering astronomy. You know, it should work pretty smoothly. And really, during the first week, during their lab, you should be able to just act. We'll go through as a group, and you should be able to get registered for that. Okay, so here's a couple of different help email lines. But if you can't, again, send me an email and keep me in the loop about if you're having any problems registering for that, and we'll get it straightened out. Pearson support is actually pretty good. Okay, so I will see you Monday if you're in Westville. You'll see Dr. Rangsdorf if you're in Hammond on Tuesday. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.